reason we're here today is a celebration. It's a celebration, an absolute celebration of the arrival of the Victor, the Albion Victor, which we've all had a play with outside this morning. I hope you have, and if you haven't, it's a chance to have one afterwards. A vehicle which we've been, of course, aware of all the way through the life of the Friends of King Alfred buses. And I want to just take the opportunity to read you something which relates to this. When we put out the appeal, one of our members, who is Norman Hibditch, who was the mayor of Winchester from 1997 to 98, he was one of those people who caught our bug. He came to one of our events and he realised that we were a bit different. He and his wife, I suddenly realised they were turning up more often than was good for them at our running days, and that in fact we got them hooked. But I'm going to read out a little note that he sent, which, as you will see, is very relevant to what we're doing today. So, and he says, I am very sorry not to be with you on this great day, to which I have been looking forward since last summer. 15 years ago, when I was Mayor of Winchester, I was attending a function with David Cowan, who was then Chief Executive Officer of Winchester City Council, and he said, what are you going to give as your legacy to Winchester? I have given this a great deal of thought over the years, and Winchester is such an historic and excellent city that it appears to have very large collections of most things. At the time when I read James's article in the Friends of King Alfred Buses Broadway Bulletin about the availability of the Albion Victor, I was redrafting my will, in which I was leaving a bequest to Friends of King Alfred Buses in gratitude for all the many days we've enjoyed and for all the hard work restoring and maintaining the buses by the volunteers. However, as soon as I read the article, I thought that this vehicle should be back in Winchester, so why not give Fokab the money now instead of later? A quick phone call to James with an offer to donate half the cost of his appeal was a good starting place, and with gift aid helping towards the transport down from Scotland was gratefully received. Half of the Albion Victor is therefore my belated legacy to Winchester. Many people will find this very strange, but I am sure that the members of Fokab and anyone interested in the old King Alfred Motor Services will be more than pleased. Well, we are.
I haven't just offloaded the Albion to you. I fully intend to carry out the commitment I gave to James and to the subcommittee in the fact that I'm going to give actually as technical advice. I've been doing driver training. Dan has picked it up very well. James, yes. No, I mean, James has driven probably as many buses as I have over the years. Approximately 25 years of ownership of the King Alfred Victor with the firm. It was only used for 7 years. To date, according to the MOT the year before last, it's done 58,000 from new. That is not round the clock twice, that is the first time. And if those of you who've seen the underneath can tell that it is just as clean and tidy as it was when it was new.
Can we run them over or not?
Yes. Yeah, go on, please.
He lost his nerve, didn't he?
One other thing I would add, Dave, to your talk about the mileage, the years when it was used, I know this was the case when I joined, and I know it was before the war, they were only licensed from beginning of May till the beginning of September. So there was 9 months when they weren't being used anyhow, and they were stored where you found them. thinking how lucky we were that you found it. James, amazing letter you read out there makes me think how lucky we are that so many people are so affectionate still now about King Alfred buses. Now, one other thing, this afternoon this carries on out at Lower Farm, and I hope as many of you as possible will be coming out. I've got a little thing going on there where we're going to christen the Victor, and Dave was saying that it was not called the Victor, but was called Alfred.
Well, I called it Alfred.
You called it Alfred.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to take part in a little competition this afternoon, because I think it should be re-christened. I've got a suggestion, which I'm going to put to you out there, and we'll go by show of hands. If anyone else can come up with a friendly nickname for the Albion Victor, we will then christen it with a little ceremony. Right, who's come up with a name? Because I've got one.
There was a nickname for it.
Because of what I was talking to you early on, I think it's appropriate that we call this the Governor.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good title.
Doesn't usually. Anyhow, we hereby nickname be referred to as the Governor. Good luck, Governor. Good luck to everyone that travels.
Right then.
Right then. That was a pop bag.
The main thing to do today is to say to ourselves, look, it's 40 years ago that the King Alfred business finished. Mr. Bob, for one, said at the time that was the end of it, nothing more would be heard of it, that was the finish. Well, you can see that that is absolutely not what has happened, and far from it. Extraordinary, really, that we can line up, as we did yesterday, a dozen plus vehicles for everyone to see, most of which have been on some globe-trotting expedition between the time they served the Chisnell family and they came back to Winchester. Anyway, the other thing about today, of course, is that you could think of it as a bit of a dolorous occasion, because it is, we are by way of commemorating the fact that 40 years ago, on this very day, albeit it was Saturday, not Sunday, we actually saw the end of King Alfred Motor Services. But I think we should look at it quite differently and say to ourselves, we're here to celebrate the King Alfred company, which we're all very deeply involved with one way or another, even all these years later and afterwards. And so don't let's be at all downbeat about this. We have a huge amount to celebrate, if only in what we've been doing. And it's worth saying that there is an ingredient, and a very, very important ingredient, in the King Alfred story and in our group and in our lives, which is the fact that the whole King Alfred story isn't just the story of buses or business, it's a family business. And we are very, very fortunate to have the support of the Chisnell family and its extended form. But we really do, if I may say, speaking for all of you now, and speaking to you members of the family, appreciate the interest and involvement that you show. Because if I was you, I'd be thinking, my goodness, these King Alfred bus people just don't go away, do they? So they perhaps wisely sought the line of, if you can't beat them, join them.
say on the 22:35,
2:35.
thank you. I had to bite my tongue a few times, or lip, or whatever it is. There was quite a bus fuel, and then there was another good fuel on the
704.
704, thank you, behind. And it brought back happy memories, because you may or may not know, I drove the last bus. I did have a little goatee beard, having recently come back from South Africa. You know, there were how many of us? 9 or 10 people?
But 10, yes?
10 actually on that bus 40 years ago. So, you know, congratulations to all those who've stood the test of time, and some had come a long way, to be honest. And it rather emphasises what you have achieved, and I say you because, you know, we've been behind the scenes. We have done very little to help you achieve where you are today, and I do emphasise that because I know we've come in now as your presidents, and we're very proud and honoured to be in this position. We have done nothing to help you where you got today. As far as we were concerned, the business went, and the memories and fathers lived on a few years in retirement happily until their time came. So, you know, what James and Robert and you all achieved following the demise of King Alfred Motor Services is amazing. Thank you so much for what you've done. We're here to support you. You are the friends of King Alfred. You have achieved what you have achieved without the Chisnell family involvement. But we applaud you for doing what you've done, and we want to support you however we can in the future.